Before we get into today's episode, just a few announcements. First of all, and most importantly, I am doing a free Date Better as a Mom webinar on December 15th. So there are still a few days to be able to register for this webinar. Click the link in the show notes to be able to join me and a bunch of other moms as I give you some foundational tips on improving your dating life. And I'm going to give you the lowdown on the Date Better program, which launches in January. And you can also find the link for that program in the show notes so that you can get information on what to expect and also get your coins together so you'll be able to join me and other women or really other moms in a community where I will be providing you all of the support and guidance you need to improve your dating journey and improve your romantic prospects. Okay, enjoy this episode. This is part 2 of Mom Moments with Devyn with the Y. So if you have not listened to part 1, I highly recommend that you go and listen so that you can catch up. Otherwise, you will be a bit lost in this saga of a story, but totally worth catching up.
I said to myself, I'm going to look through his phone because he's an idiot. I know his password. He doesn't delete any text message, like email. And when I tell you, when I go through his phone, girl, he was having an affair with babysitter.
Oh.
He was, I'm talking about that, like crazy sex, rope beating, bruises, like some crazy dynamic shit going on. Men, I was like, huh? Craigslist ads,
A whole
the
Netflix
whole thing.
special.
So now the whole Mac Daddy of Mac Daddy's sex addiction is going on. So now I just fall to my knees and like start crying. And my daughter is like, oh my God, grandma calls my mom. And I'm like, okay, how am I not going to kill this motherfucker before I get home? Before, like, when he comes home. So now he doesn't come home until 2 o'clock in the morning. My brother is like, holy shit. And so I take every bit of evidence I have and I forward all the emails to myself, all the screenshots of the text, but I needed to have it to make sure that I can remind myself that I'm not crazy. So I said to myself, all right, when he gets home, I'm not going to kill him. Now, by this point, I know everything. So he ended up coming home at 2 o'clock in the morning and he knew something was wrong. And I just didn't say a word. And he sleeps on a hammock outside. So he comes in the morning, right? This is early. He goes, do you know where my backpack is? I'm like, wherever you left it. No, goddamn well, I know where the fucking backpack is. It's in the bushes in the woods somewhere. The phone is smashed in a fucking pond in the ocean. Like, gone, baby, gone. So I'm like, I don't know where you left it. He's like, you didn't grab my backpack? I'm like, no, that's not my shit. Mind you, you just left your family on the beach, stranded in dengue fever.
That part.
Yeah. So anyway, am I going off topic with this conversation?
No,
okay.
It's a mama. It's
We're gonna
everything.
tell the mom story.
Everything.
My God,
all the things.
These are the lows. This is my low. This is my lowest low of my life. Honestly, especially when it comes to relationships and this is my lowest low. So he goes on a wild goose chase looking for his backpack. So while he's on this wild goose chase, this is a very tiny island and it's during COVID and there's only one flight a week. And that's on Saturdays. This shit all happened on a Friday.
Okay.
Right? Now to get to the island in the Grenadines, it's called Beckway. To get there, you have to take a ferry from St. Vincent. Okay. So you land, you go down, drive down to the ferry, get on the ferry, and you go to Beckway. There's only a couple ferries a day, right? One in the morning, one in the afternoon. Lights at 3 o'clock. Anyway, my brother comes upstairs. I was just planning on like staying there for another week until the next week when the flight leaves. We'll get a hotel. We'll go stay somewhere else. My brother comes upstairs and he goes, there's a flight at 3 o'clock. I need to get you and the kids on that flight. He was like, because if I don't, something really bad is going to happen. You're either going to end up in Caribbean, West Indian, Beckway jail, or you're going to kill them.
Yeah.
And I need to get you out of here. Okay. Within 20 minutes, I get my 2 kids and my brother, and we pack our little 6-month worth of lives up in probably about 6 suitcases. Okay. So then I'm sitting there like, how are we getting to St. Vincent to even get to the airport? Right. We missed the ferry. There's not another ferry till 4 o'clock. We have to be at the airport by like 1:30 latest. Right. So he's like, you don't know anyone with a boat? And I'm like, I do. Let me call him. thinking, let me call him to find out if he has anyone with a boat that could bring us.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So I call him. His name was Booty. Booty, I need to get to the airport by 3 o'clock. Do you know anyone with a boat that could get us there? He goes, listen, honey, it's going to be a rough ride and you're going to get really wet, but I could get you there. I'm like, with what? My boat called Real Shit.
She showed me a picture. The name of the boat is Real Shit.
Do you see that? Real Shit. That's
Now,
some real shit. It's a wooden fishing boat with an engine,
and
okay?
so how many people and what luggage was in that boat?
So I look at my brother, I go, well, my brother's been on them. I go, Booty said he could get us there. Now, mind you, this channel is insane. Like, it's a very dangerous channel to get. I mean, it is deep, it is wavy,
Rough.
it's rough, right?
Yeah.
And I grew up on the water in the Florida Keys with my uncle. I've been diving since I was a kid. My brother and I have been diving spear. We grew up on the water, right? And if it's anyone else I trust on the water, it's my brother, my uncle first, and my brother. So we pack up the bags, right? And I call a taxi that's on, we have him on account, my husband's account. I'm like, can you come pick me up? We need to go to the dock, blah, 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 blah. He comes and picks us up. We load up the suitcases. Meanwhile, my ex-husband's on a wild goose chase looking for his fucking backpack that's in the bushes. And the phone's in a pond somewhere. And we pack up and we're about to pull out. And I remembered he had taken a deposit for some land down there to sell. And he had taken a deposit cash, about $20,000. And I knew there was about 10 grand left. And as we're pulling out the driveway, I tell the taxi, stop, like ding, ding. I ran in that house and I took that cash and I left them $200. Grab that shit. Now I'm like, oh God, they're gonna kill me. Like if he finds out, if he gets home and he finds out the money's gone, he's gonna say I stole his money.
Okay.
Blah blah blah.
Wait,
Okay.
this is where this is the beginning of a Lifetime movie.
Yeah.
This is really
It really
the
became a Lifetime movie. Oh yeah. Like this is the Lifetime. Get in there, go down to the dock. My daughter, she's old enough. She's 15. She knows or she was 14, I think, at the time. She knows what's happening. My son does not. He's only 5. And now we got about 6 suitcases. I mean, it was 6 months worth of lives that we packed up. My brother, Booty, me, 3 adults and 2 kids, 5 people on that little boat plus 6 suitcases. So I get to the end of the dock and I'm looking at the boat and I'm looking at the channel that you could barely see from the dock. And I'm looking at my brother and I go, if you tell me that we're going to make it safely, I'm going to trust you and we could go. He goes, he's looking, looks at the boat, looks like this. He goes, we're going to make it. I go, okay, my life is in your hands and so are my kids. Well, let's go. So we go. We get in this boat. My son and I are in the back. We have our life jackets on. And we start going. We're flowing because it's calm. We're getting out. Then we hit the channel. Boom.
Ugh, my stomach.
Splash in your face. Now my son's like this. But can't even open his eyes. I can't even open my eyes. He's like, I just want to go back. I don't like this boat. I'm like, breathe through your nose, out through your mouth. Like literally my life flashed before my eyes probably a solid 3 times. I'm like, we're going to fucking capsize. We're going over. This was the dumbest fucking decision I could have ever made as a mother. I can't believe I'm doing this. Blah, 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 blah. And the whole time Bootie's driving like, don't worry. We gonna get you there safe, boy. It's okay. You'll be fine. Now, and he's all like, I don't like the boat. Fucking salt water all up in your face. Can't even open our eyes. We're like this.
Traveling with the locals. I remember when I got off the plane in Rome in Italy, and we took like an airport transport, and I fell asleep on the ride, but the driver like stopped like mad, and I woke up like this, and he goes, "It's normal. It's normal.
Yeah, it's normal." We're like, this shit isn't normal. We live in the United States. It's illegal. Like the Coast Guard would arrest us right now.
That's so great.
Oh my God. It was very traumatizing. And we make it to the dock. And I'm telling you, we are soaked from head to toe.
Yeah.
So my brother goes, you take Des, and we're gonna go. We run into a bathroom. We wash ourselves off with literally hand soap and water in these third world country bathrooms. changed our clothes, and we're running to the airport. And all of a sudden we're like making it at the nick of the time. And here it's not a gate. You literally have to go outside and walk up the stairs on the airplane. So I'm walking, I'm remembering I keep looking behind me like someone's coming after me. I'm like thinking I'm gonna throw the money out, blah, 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 blah. Like, oh shit, the money, here it is. Right. So we get on a plane. Okay. And 4 hours later, we're in Miami airport. We can't even get back to New York at this point. It just went to
Right.
Miami, right? So we land in Miami airport, and we get there and I'm like, okay, what do, what do we do now? I
Right.
can't go home. My house is rented out, right?
Right.
So clear customs. My brother was like, we're gonna get an Airbnb. He was due to go home in a week. He goes, I have to go home in a week, but let's go get it. He gets us an Airbnb. He was like the best, right? We stayed near some relatives. And I was a disaster. And then when my brother had to go, I mean, I was a mess. My brother literally took me to a STD clinic the next day because I was convinced I had AIDS at this point. I'm like, okay, well, dying of HIV,
0 to 100.
0 to 100. So go to the lab, the STD. I was like, I want my results in 24 hours. Like, like panic attack. Get them by the grace of fucking God. I didn't have anything, which I still think is wild to me.
Mm.
You know, I mean, you put your wife's and your mother of your,
No, no.
you
I mean,
put
with
your
all that you
wife in that.
found going on,
Yeah, no,
anything
there
could
was
happen.
lots of sexual encounters with men and women, let me add, like very explicit. So it was a little crazy. And my brother had to leave. I was a mess. My brother had to leave, and I decided I got all this cash. I'm gonna take these kids to fucking Disney World. So that's what we did. We rented a car. Like Des,
That's not what I was expecting.
yeah,
That took a turn.
Des had never been. My son had never been to
I
Disney.
mean, after all that you and the kids had gone through, I mean,
Yeah.
a trip to Disney World.
So we get an
Yes.
Airbnb in Disney World, and funny enough, I had some friends that were there at the time and took the kids to Disney World, and I'm walking down around Disney World like a zombie while my kids are like, "Ah!" We're having fun. I have pictures or whatever. So yeah, I used the cash to go to Disney World. I probably spent half of it on Disney World. Not gonna lie, I was just like, "Fuck it, fuck it." You want that ice cream? You want that turkey leg? Get it. You want that fast pass? Get the
Oh
lines.
my
Let's
God.
go. So we had the time of our lives.
Yeah.
But then, at that point, I was like in an Airbnb by myself. And there was one night where I literally it was such a dark place. I've never been that low of a place and that dark that I'm sitting there. I'm like, I can't go home. My world literally just got flipped and turned upside down within a
Yeah.
matter of hours, and we went through this whole traumatic events, and I had to go back to work eventually. So all that, thank God it happened when I was furloughed, but still. So I'm sitting there and I'm just like, my best friend died of suicide. She killed herself, but she was very like she had she didn't have mental illness. She was in a very toxic relationship. She had some postpartum going on, toxic relationship, like could not get her out of it since they were younger. It was just this vicious cycle, right? And you try to imagine like, oh, people kill themselves, it's so selfish, just blah blah blah. But until you experience that moment as a mother, Glass, of how dark you're feeling, you do not like, in that moment in time,
Yeah.
I literally was like I had a moment where I was like, I could see how she pulled the trigger. Like,
Mhm.
I could see it for a second.
Yeah.
But lucky to me, right? I mean, I'll never forget, I was watching my son sleep, and I'm like, "I can't leave this world." I mean, it was the lowest of the low I've ever been. That was my
Yeah.
lowest point in my life.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "All right, let me get home." I found an apartment to rent until they moved out, and we made it work. We all slept in a one bedroom, got my son in school, blah, 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 came home, and it was good. I'll never forget landing at Newark Airport and being like, oh, yeah, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
and we got through it. And I'll never forget when I moved back into my house. I mean, because that was my pride and joy. It was my home. I never had a home growing up. It was my home. And I just fell to the ground, crying my eyes out, like, I survived. I made it back. I made it through this. I'm not with him. I did it on my own. You know what I mean? So that was my lowest low. Not sure how we got on that topic, but
Because life
the great escape.
The Great Escape. I think that's the episode title, by the way. The Great
The
Escape.
Great Escape, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm curious. I have follow-up questions. Hold on, let me close
Yes,
the window.
please.
It's chilly.
Chilly in here?
Okay. Um, because at this point, your ex-husband's phone is broken somewhere on the beach or the woods or in the
Yeah.
ocean or something. So by the time you get back, like where do
Yeah.
you
Forgot
make
about that
contact
part.
again?
Yeah. So come to find out, remember the girl I was swimming with in the water?
I know she came back around somehow.
She came back around all right. Okay. So he emails me. You left without the kid. We could have stayed. Blah, blah. This is what you always want, manipulative, narcissistic, whatever we want to call him. I don't know. Try to change it around on me. And I find out because this is like 5,000 people that live on this island that he's dating the girl from the one I was swimming with in the water.
That's crazy.
They hooked up that night. That's why he didn't.
That's why
him.
I thought. Listen, I was listening to the Lifetime movie as you told it, and I was like, he didn't come back. He didn't swim back behind your brother because he was into some stuff.
Oh, he was into some shit. All right. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that now they're parading around the island. So now I have this visual of them holding hands and walking into the
Right.
sunset while I'm struggling and whatever. And yeah, he did the same thing to her. And I warned her. I was very spiteful for a very long time, not gonna lie. He lived there for 2.5 years, but me being me and the wonderful person I am,
You were on your best behavior.
I was well, no. No, not for the first year. No, definitely not. I wish I like prayed every night that a hole would be in a boat and it would sink with him on it. So yeah, but over time I got over it. And I not that I got over it, it's just like I'm very strong belief in like, okay, I chose my child's parent, their father. They did not. So I'm a firm believer in you made that choice, not them. So I'm never gonna put them through any type of bad mouthing your father's none of
Yeah.
that. I'm always a believer of they're gonna figure out for themselves when they're
100%.
older,
100%. We all do. We all
Yeah.
learn who our parents are as humans, the good, the bad, and the ugly,
Yep.
as we get to know them as humans because we're getting older. 100%.
Exactly.
100%.
So I vowed, even with my daughter's father, like I'll never talk bad. Like I'll always be there, encourage the relationships as long as it's a safe
Right.
place. So I never did that to my son. Now my son went through a very, very, very hard time with, the separation or whatever. He's just so young, he didn't know. So, he lived there for 2.5 years and he came back and, I slowly, gradually, as he, proved himself that he was becoming more stable or whatever, let him back into our lives at a co-parenting level. And I still struggle with it sometimes. Like I have to create boundaries.
Yeah.
But he's in his life and he's in our lives and everybody's like, "You're crazy. How would you ever look at him?" And I'm like, I just can't hold the hate. But
Yeah.
I'll never trust him with my heart ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not the partner for you,
No.
but he's still your child's parent who is wanting to be in his life. And
Yeah.
you don't want to be the barrier for them building a relationship if there is a positive relationship to be built.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with that. Sometimes.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it. I've told you bits and pieces of my story. My oldest son's father. Um, it was not an international adventure, but it was very much. I always describe it as a Jerry Springer episode.
Yeah.
5. It was the
Yeah.
Jerry Springer saga. It was.
Mm.
It was other women, other babies. No one knew. Secret babies.
Mm.
You are the father type.
Mm.
I mean, Jerry, we could have just handed this to you on a platter.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Surprised you didn't go on the show.
I mean, was Jerry Springer still on that? Probably. Jerry ran
No.
for a long time.
I'm really happy you didn't go on Jerry
No, me
Springer.
too. I mean,
Yeah.
I was too embarrassed.
Yeah.
Those were literally some of the words I said to him when I found out certain stuff. I was like, how embarrassing for us all. Like, I have too much pride and shame and like a concern of public embarrassment to put myself on the show.
Yeah.
But when I say it was ripe for Jerry Springer, it was Jerry Springer material, grade A. Or a Shonda Rhimes show, or like all of it. There were, let's see, put it this way, to this day, I don't like use Twitter, whatever, it's X now, whatever. But I used Twitter for this long and then was off of it because I did not like the person I was on Twitter because that's the time that I was like using it. And
mm,
when I look, I'm like, no, you need to. And I'm
mm.
happy I did because you know how people nowadays are getting canceled over old Twitter shit that they don't post. I'm like,
Years
I
ago?
didn't need to be a part of that. I made a good choice and I said, you know, I'm gonna just cut this. I'm gonna
Yeah.
stay on the other apps, but Twitter wasn't for me because that's where I decided to release my
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did too.
my thoughts
Yeah,
in a
never a
way.
good thing.
Yeah, I was
You
like,
get
I'm not.
social media emotional? Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that Twitter is where I did it, and it was a very
Yeah.
short stint, but that's where
Okay.
it was happening. So I was
Yeah.
able to like keep the better parts of me on the other apps.
Mm.
But there was that. There were like middle of the night pop ups, doorbells ringing.
Ooh.
There were phone calls.
Oh.
There were Facebook DM
Oh, yeah.
revelations. There
Yeah.
it
I
was
went through all that too.
such a chaotic time in my
Yeah.
life. I think back now, I'm like, that feels so far removed
I know.
from.
I was like hacking into his email, like finding email, and then I would email the girl, like, told you, bitch. Told you, bitch. Look, he's emailing this bitch right now, telling him, oh, you're so beautiful, bitch. He's telling her the same shit. I mean, I stalked that man's life like no other. I mean, he was so confused how I got this information because he's an idiot.
Smart too.
Yeah,
I always
idiot.
like really.
How does she know this?
I knew who the girl was based on like it was crazy.
Mhm.
It was like, how'd you know? Like two women. I was like, I mean, according to Instagram and according to Facebook, and because this one's related to this one,
Yeah,
I'm thinking, is it this person?
yeah,
He's like, okay, you're so
yeah,
fucking stupid.
yeah. Yeah, and he's so stupid because I knew his password to every I mean, I have his social security number memorized. Like, I literally hacked into every app you could think of and was able to the point where I would, like, not even tell him, "I know what you're doing." I would tell the other girls, "Listen, see what he did today?" They were all he was going crazy. How are you causing my life hell from there? I'm like, "Listen, mofo, you wanna mess with you done mess with the wrong one."
And that's the part because I
Yeah.
was also getting blamed of like you're making a lot of drama and a lot of issues of that. And I'm like, you fucking started it.
Yeah,
Let's be clear.
you did.
You did this.
You did that. You created this mess.
Oh
Oh,
my
you
goodness.
asked for the devil to come out, and she came out, and she's one spiteful devil.
Listen,
Listen, like I believe all women have a right to some spitefulness when they really, when they really get betrayed like that. The good thing is my spitefulness calms down eventually.
yeah. Yeah.
But I gave it right back.
No, it was
Yeah,
to your point of lowest time in my life.
yeah.
I went to start therapy out of the thought that I needed anger management because he convinced me that I was an angry person. And to this day, I realize I'm like, I was only ever this person and this
Hmm.
angry with you.
With you.
There's not another person on this earth who would
Hmm.
ever describe me that way.
Yeah.
It was the shit that you were putting me through.
But isn't that crazy? They tell us we're crazy, but they're the ones that do the shit to make us fucking crazy. They're manipulative. Not all of them,
It
not
was
all of
what
them,
no,
but
but just
they're
the people that were talking about who behave
yes.
like this,
Oh,
where it's like, you this, oh my gosh, you there was also this piece, and this is another thing that I'm a firm believer of, right? We all have experiences. So when it's like a relationship or a family, then
mm,
there are multiple people who are having this experience. And so it's
mm,
everyone's story to be able to tell.
mm,
Meaning, when I would talk about, because that's the other thing. Also, he fucked up because we had overlapping social circles.
mm.
So I'd be hanging out with people talking
Yeah.
about my experiences and he'd be like, "You're just going around, you're telling people what happened to me?"
Mm,
Yes,
yeah.
because it is equally my story to tell because
Mhm.
I lived it, as it is your story to tell.
Yeah. Yeah. Two sides.
And the problem was, I was just stating the things that happened. I wasn't saying this is a MF or blah. To your point, I've never badmouth
Mhm.
my son's father to them ever, ever,
Ever.
ever.
Yes. I know
Never.
this.
Matter of
Yeah.
fact, I do the opposite. I'm like, go, do
Same.
it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like bolstering it up.
Yeah.
So it was not me going around, but I
Mhm.
want to tell y'all what it did. It
Mhm.
was this happened and this happened and that, and I was this.
Yeah.
I lived that shit.
Yeah. And
It
you
is
need to
my
be able
story
to
to tell.
you need to be able to tell it. That's
If
it.
you're embarrassed or ashamed of what you did,
That's what I would say. I'm like, if you're so embarrassed and ashamed, then why do you do it? Why do you keep doing it? Yeah, we need some more wine.
this is the part of the show where
Why do you do it, idiot?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But same thing with my kid. All I up to this day, I encourage that relationship, and I'm the most I don't forgive. I forgive him. but I'm never going to allow him to have my heart again.
Absolutely not. You're not gonna forget. You're not gonna
No,
forget
you
what
can't
happened so that
forget.
you can, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I can get to a place where I'm just like, okay, we're friends, and everyone's like, how are you friends? I mean, telling you, he still drives me crazy. But at the same time, I I I do it because we are connected for the rest of our lives with our son. And I do the same thing with my daughter's father.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as intense because we weren't together as that long and whatever. But yeah, it was rough times, man. So, oh my God, I don't want to talk about the next chapter though.
Mm.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, the chapter that's to come or that's forming, or, like, or
No.
what then? Oh, the next chapter of, like, what, trying to co-parent? Or
No. The chapter of when I was living in an apartment by myself with in a one bedroom with two kids and we're sharing a bed and I'm like devastated and I'm in the darkest place of my life. I go to a business meeting, right, for a side business and I meet this guy.
oh, this
That
chapter.
chapter.
Okay. I'm like, "Oh, yes, 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 yes."
Meet that. I mean, yeah, that's chapter fucking 2. Maybe it's chapter 5 actually because maybe it's 10. I should have a Netflix
Just
series.
so losing count,
Oh
whatever.
yeah,
And I mean, for all of
we're
us, like,
starting at 28. There's whole chapters before that.
when
But yeah.
at this point in our lives,
Mm,
there are many chapters, okay?
yeah.
And they all have their rightful place. And it's a beautiful book of stories.
We're working on my series. I just haven't got the ending yet. Like, it's coming. So I go to this business meeting. So we separated and it was October 17th was exactly 2 weeks. So like October 17th, we got there on the 3rd. So I come back, we finally make it back to Connecticut and we're in this one bedroom and I mean, I was a fucking mess. But you know what? I'm very proud of myself because I held it down with my job. Never said a word. And then when it came out later that I went through all this, my boss looked at me and was like, "Are you kidding me?"
It's like, bitch, you was on a boat
She was
in
like,
a channel.
she was like, "And you worked this whole time?" And I would never know. And our clients would never know that anything was going on in your life because I'm a firm believer the world keeps going around. I gotta keep a roof over these kids' head. That's it. Money makes the world go round.
That is I'm literally like, and I know this is not how it was happening. Like you said, you were on furlough when this happened, but I'm like, you literally got in a boat called Real Shit,
Yeah.
sailed through a channel,
Real fucking
and then
shit.
like showed up to work eventually and was like, do.
They were like, "Where are you?" I was like, "Oh, Starbucks. Working from Starbucks."
Mm-mm,
Uh-huh.
mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody knew. So I got a good raise that year. That was great. So yeah. Oh, but the really good part of the one of the stories is about the next month. So St. Vincent is a volcanic island. The fucking volcano erupted.
Oh shit.
Oh, I was praying that that fucking volcano swallowed that motherfucker up. I was like, please, lava, come suck him in. And when I found out he was on the volcano relief team, like the superhero he's not,
Oh, wow. Volcano relief team.
he's like, volcano relief team? Trying to save fucking lives and shit? No. Lava, come get him, but it didn't. So he was still alive. Anyways, so I that was October 17th. I get back in November, and then I want to say February. Yeah, it was February. I went to a business meeting and there was this guy there and there was some aura about him that I felt a little attracted to. Now, mind you, I'm not dating. I'm chilling. I'm not nothing. Right. And I was dreading having to get on the dating apps, dreading it when the time was right. So I go to this business meeting, very casual, is for my side hustle. Like met in a pub and I'm with my partner and my business partner and these people. And one of the couples was from 90 Day Fiance. Just a side note. That's a fun fact.
That
And
is a fun
it
fact.
is a fun fact. Yeah, you know that show? Love that show. That's gonna be me. I'm gonna be 90 Day Fiance in some Caribbean man over here.
I can see you now.
It's
They'll be like,
happening.
son. Like,
But I wouldn't go on the show. But anyways, and he's like, like there was just something about him, and he becomes my main point of contact for the business ordeal, right? So, we're talking like back and forth, all business, all business. And I want to say March, probably about a month later, the 90 Day Fiance couple decides to have a gathering, and they live in Connecticut, granted 20 minutes from me, and they invite me to like this thing. Now, mind you, I'm like, I just got back in my house, right? Yeah, I just literally got back in my house because I'll never forget. I'm like sitting in my bed. Finally, I get my furniture back in my house. I'm sitting in my bed and I get invited to this event and it's cold as shit outside.
Right.
And I tell my mom, I really don't want to go. And I'm depressed at this point. I'm like, just still going through a hard time. So my mom goes, just go, just get out of the house and go. So I was looking cute, not gonna lie. Plus I'm already a thin person, but I lost a ton of weight. And white girls, they think it's cute when they're really skinny. But when I look back and I'm like, ew. So anyway, I thought I was
You were
hot.
feeling
I
yourself.
was like hot, spicy, skinny white bitch coming through. Hey.
Skinny white.
Yeah,
Maybe that's the name of this. Anyway, I'm gonna figure out the title.
Spicy skinny white bitch, D block. Like, yeah. So I go to this thing and I ended up, I didn't know this guy was gonna be there. And all of a sudden he ends up coming through and there was just something like this guy said something to him that was a little like a dagger. And I'm just observing. And he snapped back on this man. Like, no, I was like, oh, that was sexy.
Mhm.
And honestly, he wasn't my typical type. At all. I mean,
Yeah.
not that I have a type. I've dated every color of the rainbow, every size, every like big, small, whatever. Like everyone's like, you really don't have a type. I'm like, I really don't.
Okay.
So anyway, and I'm like, not my typical guy that I date. And anyway, we end up hanging out and we're all having fun. We all end drinking a lot. We're karaokeing at this party at this people's house in Greenwich. And like, it was a good time. You could tell he took a liking to me. And he walks me to my car and asks me, like, can we hang out sometime? He's like, let me know when you get home. Are you okay to drive? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right. So I go home and I told my mom, I'm like, yeah, I met this guy at this place. And I don't know. And she was like, oh, sounds nice, blah, blah, blah. So he ends up calling me and he's like, can we do dinner? He lived in Brooklyn. He's like, can we do dinner? Would you like to come down? And he was very into wine and whatever. And I'm like, okay. So I get a babysitter. It's like a week later. I get a babysitter and I have a panic attack. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't, I just don't want to go. I don't want to be bothered. I'm telling my daughter, I'm like, I'm just going to tell him Des fell and like broke his wrist and we had to go to the hospital. And
0 to 100.
0 to 100. And so my daughter's like, Mom, you can't say that. And I'm like, why? I need to get out of this state. So the babysitter who knows me, who's a freaking teenager, like 19 at this point, I go, Kelsey, I just can't go. I'm going to pay you for tonight, but I don't need you. She goes, why? I go, I just can't go on this date. She goes, Devyn, you're going on the date. Get in the goddamn car. I mean, at this point, I'm already like 2 hours late, right?
Oh my God.
I end up going on this date, okay? And I mean, this man had everything. He took me to this fancy restaurant, had this like 30-year-old bottle of wine ready for me, and like go to his house, and like we go out to dinner and we're talking, and we're like, it's just a really, 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 really good time. And it was something I wasn't used to. Like it was like a real date, very planned,
Right.
very
Right.
intentional.
Yes. Yes. We love
Yeah.
dates.
And like it ended up like going down that night. It just ended up I'm sorry. Thoughtin'.
Right.
I told you I was thoughtin'. This was before my thoughtin' stage though. Okay. So anyway, he made me feel very safe in a moment in my life where I felt very unsafe. And he made me feel all the feels and we just jumped into it. I mean, he was at my divorce party. That's so embarrassing. I threw a huge like huge divorce party. I'm talking about this is when COVID, like it was like still not okay, but you could have gatherings. I mean, when I tell you I invited 70 people and 90 showed up, that's what it was.
This is before I knew you.
This is before you knew me. In my backyard, it was. I mean,
People were trying to get outside. That's what was happening.
I mean,
like,
I'm
what?
telling you, 90 people.
I invited 70 and 90 came. Everybody found out.
Everybody found out. And we stuffed pinatas full of condoms and nips, liquor nips for the divorce party. We all had divorce party hats on. Why did I invite this man? Why did I invite this man to my divorce party? First of all, like whatever. And it was my birthday on the same. I was like, this is a birthday divorce party.
So wait, set the scene. This was 2021.
So now we're in 2021. 2021, April 2021. So my first date was March. It was like mid-March.
Okay.
So we've been seeing each other like 3-4 weeks and I invited him to my divorce party. This is Devyn, 0 to 100. We went on a couple dates and now he's coming to my birthday.
0 to 100.
Meets like everybody in my life.
0 to 100 is the title of the episode.
Yeah, 0 to 100.
But I'm going to write it down before I
You got to take these notes.
I forget.
We got 0 to 100. We got The Great Escape. We got.
But then there's a great. At this rate, we're about to go into part 1 and part 2 of this episode
ugh.
probably. So
The
0
Great
to
Escape,
100.
0 to 100. What was the other one? Skinny white bitch.
Spicy white.
Spicy white skinny bitch. She was feeling herself, let me tell you.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so we're in April 2021.
April 2021, have this divorce party, like, and I just like, and really hope this doesn't go viral, and I really hope he doesn't see it, but I'm an open book. Like, he just, I remember nice moments at the party where I'm like, attractively, he wasn't really my type, but he sold all these attributes to him, like, where he had his shit together and we were going to be this power couple and we were like, he had it like we were going to grow because I'm an ambitious fucking bitch. Growth. So I fell in love with what do we call it?
The potential. And let's stop for a moment. Let's give a moment to
Okay.
trying to make different decisions in our lives and
Mm.
making it. So who was it? Okay. I was just on like Instagram or something. It was Summer Walker. She said, fuck my type. What she meant by that was, she was like, fuck the guys that I usually deal with.
Correct.
Like, especially even some of the fine ass ones.
Mm.
She's like, because they have gotten me nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So what I mean is, the reason why I'm stopping for this moment is, I mean, yes, I also entered a committed situation with someone who wouldn't, I would say, have been typically my type after I got out of my relationship with my oldest son's father. So the next guy that came around who I decided to commit to felt very safe, very calm, the very opposite in so many ways.
Yeah.
Of that other guy who, like, emotionally, I was like, it was chaos.
Yeah.
All right. So I was like, oh, this feels nice. And nope, wouldn't be my usual type to go to for physically, but this feels safe and this feels good. So sure, why not?
Mm-hmm.
And then we have our.
And you're probably in a vulnerable part of your life after all you went through with Jerry Springer mofo. Yes, with a baby.
Yep.
A little boy.
Yep. I had a 1-year-old.
Yep.
So I was like, you know what?
Let's try it.
Let's take it easy. Let's take it easy.
Yeah.
So I always say I went from one end of the spectrum to the other. And really what we're trying to find is somewhere in between.
Mm-hmm.
As you were saying.
But that ended up not working.
That also did not work.
Okay.
That did not work for other reasons.
Growing pains, right?
Yeah.
Growing pains.
Yeah, it's trying to calibrate.
Yeah.
It's trying to calibrate that scale.
So me being 0 to 100, about 6 months into us dating and me being like, oh, I'm in love. And everybody loved this guy. Like, everybody loved him. They'd be like, oh, he's not like your type. But okay. So I thought, okay, maybe my type is not like, there's no chaos. Maybe it's a little boring, but he's so sweet and this and that. And like, 0 to 100 real quick. And he was from another country and he was here on an O1 visa that was expiring. And the only way he could stay with a guarantee was if he married. So I look at him and I'm like, okay,
might as well do it.
Let's get married. So we get married. And me being 0 to 100, I have to have this extravagant wedding. I got to throw the best party. It was a great wedding.
Anything about your wedding? Where was it? It
was in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Oh, it was nice.
Brooklyn wedding.
Oh, it was. It was. Everybody still talks about both of my weddings were great. I threw a good fucking party. I'm not gonna lie. So
wait, where were each wedding? We don't have to get super in detail, but where was each wedding?
First wedding,
people, like, what was the vibe?
First wedding was of 110 people, and it was a beach wedding, and there was this place on the beach in Connecticut, Fairfield, Connecticut. Wonderful. Everybody was in the wedding and they were like, this is like the 18 and up party that we used to go to, like that, like when we were young. And I'm like, yeah, it's like that. Like that playlist was, but it was beautiful. It was such a good wedding. Anyway, great wedding. I throw a great wedding. That's something I should probably start doing.
Yeah.
Wedding planner.
Yeah.
And then him, I did more of like a sophisticated, we had like the people that sing on the street, like the doo-wop people come in and
they're
it was amazing.
I love a little upscale city vibe wedding.
Such a good wedding. I have great pictures. Not that I could do shit with them now, but anyway, back to that. So we throw this wedding. Everyone's like, I had one friend that refused to go to the wedding. She was like, this is insane. I just walked you through the divorce. She's a psychiatrist or psychologist. And she was like, I'm not doing it. And I'm like, whatever. So had the wedding and
sorry, what year are we in now?
We're in 2020. 2021. I married him November 5th, 2021, and I met him in March. Or I met him February, started dating him in March 2021. 6 months.
Okay.
6 months.
All right.
Yeah.
0 to 100.
0 to 100.
Okay.
Yes, have this big wedding. Then we wedding's over and life just starts to fall apart. Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't the person that good person, wonderful man, good heart, not a bad bone in his body, never would cheat on me. Like very like that and just a wonderful.
I've known him.
Yes, you
I
knew
very
him.
much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
He's a good
Um
guy.
but he wasn't the ambitious person that I thought he was. He wasn't that safe space that I thought he was when it came to us growing and paying bills and blah blah blah. Not that it's all about that. Just things started to really like change. Like I found out that he wasn't the person that he sold himself to be to me. And that's okay. But I found myself, maybe it's not okay, but I found myself becoming very unhappy. And I was like, I got myself into a situation. I'm like, what did I just do? Like, what did I, and it took a lot for me to hurt his feelings because I just was so not happy. I became very unattracted to him and things just fell apart. He became very jealous over me and it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
So there I go, second divorce.
Yeah, yeah.
I try to tell people like that wedding didn't really happen, but there's pictures floating around everywhere.
It was a big Brooklyn shindig. You
I'm like,
can't deny it.
what are you guys talking? I didn't get married again. What are y'all talking about? They're like, bitch, are you crazy? I'm like, maybe a little.
I mean, again, I think there are so many parts of our stories that relate in certain ways. Like we've talked about, like again, yeah, my youngest son's father, it was who I just talked about, where I was like,
Mhm.
wasn't typically my type. Like same thing, good guy.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, the whole ending a relationship with someone who didn't dog you out, like the first one, where you could be like, well, of course, everyone's like, of course,
Evil dog. Yeah, get out of here. F you. Yeah. Shit, I couldn't do that with
when
this one.
you're just like explaining to people, like, yeah, I always said, good guy, not my guy. And
Yeah.
that's hard.
It was so hard. Like I felt he was so in love with me. So in love. And he was a good person. And like I literally had to break his heart in the most delicate way that I could, but there's no delicate
Same.
way of doing that.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
It was horrible. I felt like the worst person on
The
earth.
guilt, the shame.
Oh,
It took time for me to like
me too.
unjig myself out of that guilt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like karma's biting me in the ass, but maybe not.
Mhm. It's
It,
life lifing.
yeah.
It's life
Yeah.
lifing.
It's
That's
like,
just the real of it. Like I look back, I'm like, okay, well, why did I make the choices I made?
mm,
Again, back to that whole, for me, at
mm-hmm.
the time I met this person, I was jumping from one end to the other.
Yeah.
I was like traumatized and like anxious
I
about my
know.
previous experience. And I said,
Yeah.
it's got to be very different than that. It's got to be very different than that. And I think I made it too different.
Yeah.
I went too far to the other
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
And I needed to be somewhere more in the middle, which is what I
Mm-hmm.
found now.
Mm.
But like, I get it. Like,
Yeah. You all of a sudden you wake up and you're like, what the fuck did I do? To the point where I was just like, I can't even have sex with him. Like, I'm just not attracted to him. Like, it
yeah,
got that bad.
yeah.
And to the point where like he couldn't even breathe right without me being annoyed.
Yeah, I know. When you start getting mad at somebody,
Yeah. Or the way they eat, the way they chew, you're like,
and that breathing, eating, them being alive, just like existing
just
is a
the
problem.
sound of them walking.
Like, oh
You're like,
no,
ew, what the? I knew it. I was like, oh, this ain't good. Mayday, someone find me, please. Someone help.
SOS.
I'm like, SOS, someone, what do I do? And it wasn't fair to him. And I'm like, you deserve someone that's going to treat you way better. And I feel horrible. I broke that man's heart. And like, he was a victim of my shit, and there were good intentions. It wasn't malicious, but it just didn't work.
Yep.
So that was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do
Mhm.
because I hate hurting anybody. I don't want to hurt anybody. I hate hurting people. I hate I hate that shit. But, I had to do it because I found myself in a horrible depression. And
That part.
yeah, I was like, I'm not happy. I'm
Yeah.
depressed.
That was
Yeah.
my second depression. The first one was with the first ex, where I was at my like
Yeah.
low, like super, super sad for like other reasons. Like I was not being treated kindly. I'm like, okay, you really don't actually like me as a person. Like that realization.
Yeah.
Then the next one was while I was in the relationship with this
Mhm.
good guy who was not my guy, I was
Mhm.
waking up every morning crying. I was like, well, that doesn't seem,
That doesn't seem right.
I don't think that's supposed
But
to
this
happen.
is love? This is good, nice, healthy
I'm
love?
like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And so I really thought about it from at that point. Now I had 2 kids. I was like, what am I going to be showing them as they're getting older? They're going to see a miserable
Mhm.
mother.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't think that that's what I want to give them.
Correct. Yeah. They need to see their mom's help happy, and at the end of the day, because I knew it was gonna really be hard on my son, because my son really did love him and lean on him because his dad just disappeared for 2.5
Yeah.
years, and that was a whole nother story. But that was one of the harder parts for me too, is like, not only am I breaking this guy's heart, but I'm breaking my son's heart. It was horrible, but at the end of the day, like, I made a mistake. I made a poor decision that I didn't think through, and I'm owning it. And I have to, it would be better if my son went through the breakup now than having his mom be miserable for years.
That was literally, those were literally my words.
Yeah,
I
right?
remember where I physically was each morning in the kitchen where I was really thinking through this decision. It
Yeah.
was after morning after morning after morning, day after day after day. I was like, okay, you stay and this ends later and your kids are older and more attached and
Mhm.
invested, or you leave now and they're less invested.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was literally what it was coming down to for
Yeah,
me.
yeah, and that's the decision I made, which was very hard and traumatic and whatever. But like, I'll never forget. I want to say it was 2 weeks after, and I had told my dad like, "Hey, we separated." And I come down. My dad goes, "Okay, well, do you miss him?" And I was like, "Not at all." He goes, "Well, you made the right decision then." And I hate saying that, but
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
just
It
I
tells you a lot.
yeah, I was like, "No, I don't miss him at all," and I still don't. But
Yeah.
I still, he's a good person. I feel
And I
sorry
feel
for
that
him.
that's
Yeah, you
same,
went through it.
same.
Yeah, you feel
Same.
horrible.
I'm not a cruel person who's like, "Yeah, let's
Mhm.
you hurt." I'm like, I feel like shit
I
that
felt
I
like a
hurt you.
piece of shit. Yeah, I'm like, I really hurt this guy that did nothing wrong. It's very easy to break up with someone when they did something wrong,
Oh
and you're
man, I'm
spiteful.
listen.
Bye,
As
bitch.
much as it sucks, I'm here to say, if you get to choose the side where they done dogged you out, everybody's like, "Yeah, we hate that motherfucker."
Fuck that motherfucker. I didn't like that bitch. Yeah, I
You can go out
know.
have
Right?
parties, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Divorce party. Oh my god.
exactly. But
Yeah.
when it's like, good guy, not my guy,
No,
you're
I
just over here
definitely
like,
I didn't have a divorce party for that one.
no,
No,
because
I
you're just
felt
like,
horrible. But life
yeah,
goes on.
that's life. That
Mhm.
is life. And that really is for me, and maybe this is a good like note to end on. Life goes on and it's like we only get so much of it and we actually don't know how much of it we get. We don't there's no guarantee
Yeah.
of
There's
how
no
much of it we
guarantee.
get.
Yeah. So now how I cope, not cope, but like now I live life, I don't want to say YOLO, right? But there is a lot of YOLOing going on, right? So I'm a good mom. I try my best. I do my best. Yeah, everybody could do better, right? And we try to do better every day. Um, but when I get invited to do something, or I get an opportunity to go do something, whether it be getting on a plane and going to the Caribbean to spend a week with a guy, like going on a boat and whatever, I don't care where it is. As long as my kids are properly taken care of with people surrounded by loved ones, like my mother,
Mhm.
right? Or my son's father,
Yeah.
I get up and go because that makes me a better mom.
Mhm.
It makes me a better mom to get my time and my peace and my breaks, right? Because if I sit in that house by myself, miserable upstairs all the time, like I don't like it,
Yeah.
and I work hard.
Yeah.
I'd be able it's YOLO. I'm 41. I'm on my like prime right now. Like I'm
Yeah.
not going to get the opportunity to be able to do the things that I'm doing so much. And I
Right.
worked hard to climb that ladder, and I'm going to do them.
Yeah. Yeah. That part about making you a better mom when you're leaning into the things that bring you joy, peace,
Yeah.
joy, or excitement, which is what I
Yeah.
say is self-care, right?
Yeah.
That's so important and we don't think like I try to make this point so much to moms like it is very easy so previous mom moments episode was about like how motherhood parenting is not necessarily joyful. It is worth it. There's
Mhm.
a lot at stake,
Mm.
but goodness gracious, there's so many parts of it.
So many parts.
Because you're like, I'd rather not, but I need to. So
Yeah.
you do. And so then if you don't lean into the things in your life that help bring you peace, joy, or
Mhm.
excitement, you are miserable or you're dried
Yeah.
up and like a shell of yourself
Yeah.
and unenergized whether mentally, physically, whatever.
Mhm.
And that shows in your parenting and
Yeah.
your interactions with the people in your life.
Yeah, you need to make life worth working so hard for. And everybody it looks different for everybody, you know?
Yep.
Me, I just love being on the water. That's just my happy place. So if I could do that every chance I get, I'm gonna do that as long as my kids are okay. I'll bring my kids with me sometimes. Like I've taken my kids around the world. It's just what it is. And I'll never forget on an end note, my daughter, she's 17, about to be 18, going, she's at that age. And I'm in my I go home every week. Like every week I work from home. These kids don't even know what it's like to come home and your parents now. I'm like, where's dinner at 5 o'clock? Like, screw you. Like I used to come home at 7:30. Like these spoil that. So
Mhm, mhm.
I am there in the morning, I'm there when they get home, I'm there at night. And it's just I'm there.
Yeah.
That's post
I
COVID,
had that realization too a few years ago. I was like,
right?
wait, my children are growing up with their norm being their mom is always home.
Yeah. Like, my mom wasn't always home growing up. She was a
Yeah.
bartender. She worked. I was alone. Like, for me, I'm like, I'm in this house 85% of my time. So my daughter, and I watch TV, and like during the week, it's hard. I'm like, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna lay in bed and just watch TV after I've been here all day working. So she comes upstairs and she sits in the bed with me and she goes, Mom, I'm a little worried about you. I was like, why? She was like, I'm worried that you're alone too much.
Hmm.
And you're in the bed and you're alone and you're upstairs and I just am worried about you. She goes, I think it's time. I'm like, time for what? She was like, I think you need a partner. I'm like, well, go find me one. Second, I said, I said, are you serious? Because I'm having a little bit of guilt about how much like I go away. Because I'll go away like every
Yeah.
mm,
You be on flights. I'm like, where's Devyn? Oh. And I love this for her.
I do. I mean, I go away probably like once every 6 weeks, right?
I'd
And
say about
sometimes
that's
it could be
average.
sometimes, yeah, we're averaging that out. I
Yeah.
mean, whatever. So, I told her, I'm like, well, I feel guilty a little bit. Like, I'm thinking I'm this bad mom because I go on so many trips. And she was like, no, I love when you're gone. Like, it's wonderful. I know you're having a good time. I get the house to myself, and I know you're like with somebody, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. She was like, keep going out, keep doing, so that like reassured me. Like, my 17-year-old daughter thinks my son's happy and I advocate for him and everything. And I get my breaks, and you know what? I'm not feeling guilty about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you.
Cheers.
And cheers.
Cheers to life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I got a lot more stories if you guys want to hear them later
We
on.
might have a part 2, 3, 4 of my moments
Yeah.
with
I mean,
Devin with the Y.
I got Devin with Y stories for days.
Because yeah, at the end, I'm wanting to ask like, what is either a mom hack or a self care resource for you? Getting on a flight is a self care resource.
Self-care resource.
Highly recommend.
Yeah.
Highly recommend. Personally,
Get on that flight.
Paris, France.
Oh, yeah, she be doing it
We like
too.
getting on
Oh,
planes.
I get on flights, and I'm very grateful because I have the ability to do that, but I don't go around buying materialistic things as much. So my spending is my little vacations, right? Because it's memories. I love that. So as much as I could do it, I'm going to do it.
On that note, thank you so much
You're welcome.
for joining me in
Anytime.
conversation on my moments.
Cheers.